Hi everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Angela. This is Angela Palmer, and I'm excited to be here with you today for today's live. So apologies, I am later than what I usually am with my scheduled time of 1:30. I've had huge internet issues and been trying for the last half an hour or so to get the internet. It was all set up 10 minutes before, both screens ready to go, and then suddenly, of course, at 1:30, when I'm due to start, everything just stops working. So I restarted the computer twice, restarted the phone, reset the internet, and it looks like finally it is live. So I understand some of you might have moved on and not be watching live, but you get to watch the recording later. So the plan is Thursdays at 1:30. That is the scheduled time, but we are a little bit late because of these internet issues. Anyway, so thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. I'm Angela Palmer. I'm from Stamp with Angela, and I'm based in Auckland, New Zealand. And today I want to share a fairly simple technique that I'm going to use with the Joyful Tidings stamp set, but it is something that you could use with other stamp sets that you have got. I'm going to be doing, it's like a two-tone stamping technique. So showing you how you can get two different colors on your stamps. Now, it'll work for certain stamps more easily than others, but I've enjoyed using the Joyful Tidings stamp set and show you how you can get some different sort of colours and grading in that. All right, so let's take a look at what we're going to use today, and we will get started. All right, so here we go. So this is the Joyful Tidings stamp set. So you will see that we've got both some images and some stamps. We have the kind of different kind of wreath, a more simple one. This one here you can colour in if you wish. If you get my newsletter, you would have seen a tutorial that I shared using this and gave some tips on colouring it as well. So today we're going to use that Joyful Tidings stamp set. We're going to use a few ink colours. We're going to use Old Olive and Shaded Spruce. So that's for our two colours for our shading. And then we'll also use some Crumb Cake and Early Espresso in our card as well. So I'm going to show you a very quick, simple sort of one. And then we're going to step it up a bit as well. So for coffee and cards this week, I had classes on Tuesday and Thursday. And we made two cards. The first one had no stamping at all. The second one did have stamping, and it used this particular set. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to make a simple card like this. So I've used the basic white note cards and envelopes. So they're a slightly small one, but nice for a quick, easy, small card. And generally I like to kind of stamp on something else and then add a bit of colour to it and then adhere it to the card base. So we're going to do some stamping. And hello, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining me. I am very late today. I don't know if you saw my intro, but had major internet issues and had no internet for about half an hour, but it looks like it's up and running. So that's why I'm late. So thank you for joining me. So we are using the Joyful Tidings, and we're going to do this two-tone sort of effect. So the stamp is this one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it with my lighter colour first. So I'm going to use Old Olive. I did re-ink this, so although it's a lighter colour, it is a bit darker probably than what it's going to show on my other card. Then I'm going to use a Sponge Dauber. So you can get these in a pack of 5, like so. They fit neatly onto your finger, and then you can get ink with them. So I'm going to dauber it into my Shaded Spruce, and then I'm going to choose randomly some areas of my stamp and add the darker color, and that is how you add the two tones. Now you can decide where you want to stamp it, so we're going to sort of do in the middle like that. Let's have a look. Now can you see the two tones, the two different greens there? We've got some Old Olive here and then some darker one. So it's kind of a subtle difference, but let me just show you. Wonder if I could do it next. Do I have a spare piece? I'll do just one colour, and then we'll have to do it on a bigger one. So you'll see the difference. So this is, if it's just Old Olive. All right, so here you can kind of see the difference. On the left, we have the Old Olive, and then on the right here, we have the Shaded Spruce. So can you kind of see that sort of subtle difference? We've got a bit of colour there. All right, great. So you can try different colour combinations and see how it works. Now, if you look at my card, this is quite white, and I wanted to tone it down a bit. So I'm going to sponge it with some crumb cake. So I'll get my crumb cake and my blending brush. Right, just going to make it so I can see the comments. And I'm going to start off, because in case you see, it's quite dark, and I'm going to do gentle circular motions. And remember, you can light it first because you can add more, but you can't take away. So just a subtle kind of bit of crumb cake just to add to it. You could leave it white if you preferred, but there we go. Okay. I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the early espresso because that's the colour that I'm putting around the edge. So early espresso, and I'm going to use one of the stamps from the set, this Tidings of Joy this Christmas season. So and I'm going to put that in this little part here. Beautiful. Now, to finish it off, I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle and things to it. So we've got a ribbon. So this is a gold ribbon, which I've run out of it anyway, and I think it's retired. So we're going to use a different gold ribbon. So I'm going to use this one here, which is the gold striped kind of mesh looking one, but that is quite thick. If I was to do a bow that was this thick on this card, it might be a little bit too much. So if you can kind of imagine that, might be okay, you might be all right with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it thinner. Now this works for some ribbons, but not all, and I have done this before on other cards. I'm going to cut it down the middle, so we need to get it started. So these are my ribbon scissors, hence the red on it, so that it will cut ribbon well. So I'm just going down the middle. Now, obviously, it will be slightly wider on one side of the ribbon than the other. Just trying to hold it as I get to the end part. Right, there we go. So now it's a finer, sort of daintier ribbon. So I'm going to do my bow. Always harder when it's on camera. I don't like wasting it, but I don't want to have the ends too long. So like that. So I'll try and make the ends a similar kind of length. So we'll just angle it too to help it not fray too much. Okay, so I'm going to put that on first because then I can see where I'm going to add my other embellishments. But let's just glue that together on the card front and then we'll embellish it. So I've got my glue. So remember, this is a note card, so it is a little bit smaller. So let's go around the edge. And the note cards are pre-scored, but you just need to watch as you fold them that they do line up nicely. So look for my score line. So I'm just not gonna fold it exactly, but just make sure that that lines up nicely. And then I can use my bung folder to just crease it, and hopefully that looks nice and square. If it overlaps slightly more on one side, I'll have the side where it's overlapping more. Okay, we'll adhere that. So this is a nice, quick and easy note card. So you could leave it like that, but let's add our ribbon. So I'm going to use a glue dot. Try not to touch them with your hands and things because the oils will make them less sticky, so you can just adhere it straight to your ribbon like so. You want to be able to see that sentiment. Now to finish it off, I'm going to add some rhinestones. So the rhinestones are like this, but I have coloured them. So I've got my blend. Let's find our dark real red. And I'm just going to colour them. So actually, it would have been better to do this first. I'm going to use this fine tip just so I can be gentle with it. Do it when it's on here. Now, I've done those ones earlier, so they're dry. So I'm going to put those on. And I'm just going to do 3. Obviously, you could do little clusters and more, but we don't want to go over the top. So just a little bit of colour, like so. There we go. So how is that for a quick, easy note card? Now you can see, although I've used the same colours, my ink pad was fading a bit more there. Here I've re-inked it and you can see that the colours are a little bit darker. But how's that for a nice, quick card? So a cool technique. So now we're going to step it up. We're going to use some die cuts and we're going to use some embossing as well. All right, so we're going to keep with our colours. We're going to use our Old Olive and Shaded Spruce, Crumb Cake and Early Espresso for this card as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a standard size card with our Early Espresso base. And we're going to have a piece of Old Olive and we're going to emboss it with the traditional wreath folder, which is this one here. So I've done that already. Okay, so you'll see there's a space there, but that's okay because we're going to put something over the top anyway. So we're going to use the wreath and we're also going to use one of my favorites, the branching out dies. So we're going to use the 2nd and 3rd largest. Okay. So we're going to do this with our Early Espresso to frame it. And then the smaller one will be for our stamped image. Okay. Where's my mat gone? Here it is. So what we're going to do basically on here, we're going to do exactly the same as what we did on our card, but we're just putting it on this design and then we've got a different background. So let's go over that technique again. So we've got our stamp. We're going to go with the lighter color first. I'm just going to lightly tap that on. Then we come in with our dauber. And look at this, you can probably see some darker spots. Okay, so we're going to put that onto here, like choose the angle you like. Oops, it's stuck to it. There we go. There we are. So you can definitely see some different shading of colors there. We will stamp our sentiment. I'm going to do it there. I could have put it up more and done it down the bottom, totally up to you. We're going to do the sentiment in Early Espresso. So just remember with these kind of stamps, you tap with your ink, go down and up. Don't press too hard or rock it, otherwise you'll get the line around the stamp on as well. So you just need to kind of push it down, hold it and lift up. Obviously I haven't re-inked, but push it down, can't see it, down and up. Just don't push too hard into the ink pad or too hard into here, otherwise you get that line around it. Okay, so another little tip for you. We'll clean those stamps with got my chamois, and then I'll do it later with my stamping mist. All right, again, we are going to sponge. So I'm going to use my crumb cake, just a subtle color. Let me show you what it's like white, and you can decide what you think. So if we put this here, where's our card base? Here it is. You can tell me if you want. So that would go there, and then basically we're going to put that like that. So that's the white, and I'll show you a completed one, which is sponged. She says it's right here. Where's it gone? I keep putting things on top of it. Here it is. All right. So which do you prefer? That's quite light sponging. This one here, I've gone a little bit more. Do you like it white and crisp, or do you like it sponged? What do you think? Maybe I could leave this one white, then I can get a photo next to each other and you can see what you like. So let's try that one without the sponging as a comparison. We'll put the card together. So on my lives, I like to have sort of a bit of variation, and then we can see what people like. So we're putting our traditional wreath piece down first. So that is a 3D embossing folder. So you do need to make sure you use the grey specialty plate with that. So I'm going to glue this onto here, but then we'll raise it up. Okay, so while that's drying, let me tie a bow with the other piece of gold that I had. I'll get that ready for the card. So Elizabeth says she likes it sponged. I probably do too. I'm going to leave it white so I can get a photo as a comparison. And then you can, the only thing is that the gold bit at the top. So let's just try that again, see if I can twist it around so the gold is at the top. I don't know if you know what, there we go. So now I've got that gold edge both at the top. So pull it tight. I'm going to put that there. All right, and we've got our bling ready to go. So that's white, that's sponged. Okay, let me adhere that with dimensionals and see what you like. One, two, three, four, and I like to put one in the middle just so it doesn't kind of sag. We use our take your pick tool to lift off the backs, just like that, and put that on. We need our glue dot for our bow. I personally prefer the sponging more too. Just find it's quite harsh with the white, but maybe you like that fresh look. We'll put that there, and we will add some of our coloured rhinestones. These are quite good to have on hand. So if you've got blends, then you can colour them in any colour you like, and then it coordinates with your card. So that's kind of cool. There we go. Odd numbers are good. All right. So fairly quick and easy today. I feel that that's slightly wonky. I'll have to adjust it. All right, 2 cards here. So there you are. So for these cards, I have used the Joyful Tidings stamp set, and we have used the ink pad with the Dauber, lighter colour first, then Dauber over the darker colour to give you that two-tone, which adds a bit more sort of texture to it, interest to it, which is really cool. And then we can make our simple card as well, just with our note card, with no die cutting, just nice and simple stamping and some embellishments and things. So there you go. So I challenge you, if you've got a particular stamp that you could maybe do 2 tones with, grab yourself some Daubers and have a go at adding different colors. So these are like 2 different shades of green. Maybe you could do something and it's contrasting colors. So have a play with that. Now, I've had lots of fun with the Joyful Tidings stamp set. I'll just show you a couple of other quick variations of the note cards that I did for Coffee and Cards. So you could make it like a complete wreath. So for that one, I have stamped here and here, top and bottom. And then I've added a few more of the red pearls and a bow at the bottom. This is the other stamp set, which I have used my watercolor pencils just to color in a couple of the things as well. And if you check out my newsletter, I've done a very simple version like this, and then a stepped up version with dies and things as well. So lots of possibilities with that. Now, I also did earlier in the year a heat embossing class, the magic of heat embossing with fun folds, and we used this particular set, teaching different techniques to do with heat embossing as well as some fun folds. So if you want to develop your heat embossing skills or learn some fun folds and use this particular set, then check it out. I'll share a link for it. And I'm going to try and give you a discount of 10%. So I need to make a coupon code for that. Now, this stamp set, unfortunately, will be retiring when the mini catalogue ends. So like yesterday, it was announced, or maybe it was Tuesday actually, was the last chance. So they've shared which products are going to be going. Some of them are discounted, including this one. Usually $47, now it's down to $37.60. So if you don't have it and you had your eye on it, now's a great time to purchase it because you'll get it at a discount. Now, the other thing to note with the last chance products, some of the stamps and dies or punches have been discounted, but the bundles, which are already 10% discount, haven't been discounted further. So this is just a stamp set on its own, but there are some things like that are stamps and dies, and it's actually cheaper now. It's reduced to get the stamps and the dies separately than as a bundle. So check that out before you purchase it to see which is the best option. Now, with our branching out, the stamp set, which I've used before, the stamp set is retiring, so that will be going, but the dies are staying. So I'm hoping they're going to bring something else that we can use this with. So this one is finishing, but these are staying. So the bundle is retiring because obviously you can't get these together after a little while, but you will still be able to get the dies, which is very cool. All right. Well, Elizabeth, thank you for being faithful and staying with me. I know I was very late today because of those technical issues in my internet. And the frustrating thing was I checked it like half an hour before. Connection was fine. Had everything up on my screen, ready to go 10 minutes before. Everything was perfect. And then, of course, 1:30, internet goes down and it didn't work. So thank you for your patience. And if you're watching the recording, thank you for joining and watching it. And if you've got any questions, please sing out to me. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like the channel, so you'll be kept up to date of other lives and that kind of thing, and hopefully we'll be at the scheduled time. And if I can help in any way, just a reminder that the 9th of December is the last day for Christmas shipping. If you want anything to arrive in time for Christmas, you might be able to order there and it might come in time, but they're not sure. So they're just saying order by the 9th so that you can, get it in time for Christmas, because obviously couriers and things get extremely busy in the lead up to Christmas. If you would like Christmas, some crafting products, Stampin' Up products for Christmas, and people are asking, what can I get you? Then contact me. I'll send you a form. You can put some things you'd like. Let me know who's buying for you. I can contact them and say, Elizabeth, Mary, whoever is keen on these things, would you like some ideas? If they say yes, I can share some ideas and we can do an order, and you might get something you like. If not, no pressure. If they don't want to, that's fine. But let me know if you're wanting some crafting products and people are looking for suggestions. So wonderful. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's two-tone stamping technique. Fairly simple, but quite effective. So have a go. Share some photos of what you've done with it. Remember, the last chance products have been updated. So that means some of the products that will be retiring are now discounted. Check them out, because if you want any of those before they go, get them before they disappear. And some of the online exclusives will be retiring as well. Awesome. So thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Let's hope that next week we will be on time and the internet works. So thank you so much. Please sing out to me if I can help in any way. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.